So I've let this dry overnight, and I just wanted to show you the process. Like, this is not very warped compared to what it would have been if I had not taped it down. So I'm just going to go ahead and remove my painter's tape. It has yet to rip my paper, so I am pleasantly, oh, here we go, here's a rip. That's okay. Not a big deal. I think I'll probably have to frame this anyway, because you can see the paint did not go through, which is like the point of painter's tape, right? Is to not let your paint go through on walls specifically. So that is pretty dang good. And look at how hardly warped that is. That's awesome. And we can see where we're at. Okay, so maybe something like this and going that way. So my idea for this layout is going to be using an embossing folder. Now, how am I going to do that on a 12 by 12 layout? Well, what you're going to need is your embossing folder in a stylus. So I don't know if you remember, but when we were little, you would take a piece of paper and put a coin underneath it. And then you would take your pencil and you would run your pencil back and forth to get the impression of the coin. And that is the same concept that I'm going to apply here. I'm going to use my stylus to run back and forth to find the indents on my embossing folder. Now, note to self, when you're doing this, you want to make sure you're using the correct side of the embossing folder. If you want the bubbles to be shown raised up, you need to press into the depressed side of your embossing folder. So I am just kind of following the circles and the edges. You can see how I'm like pushing out on the edge to find the raised, or the lowered, I guess, the depressed image. Okay. Downside of this technique is you can't really see where you're going. So you really are truly relying on the feel of your stylus. The other downside of this is it takes some handwork. So if you find a spot, you just kind of want to follow it. Okay, so if you find a spot, you just follow it. But that's how you're going to get your image on a 12 by 12 paper, and how you can use your embossing folder. So I've got some good bubbles here. I'm just going to make sure I got the circle and all of them. So you can see the debossed image. Oh, that's a part of a bigger one. Okay, I'm going to keep going. So, because I like the fact that it's a bigger one. Let's see if I can get this tucked back in. Okay, I think I got it. I can double check here. Okay, I do need to shift it just a little bit. There, okay, so this is a big bubble right here. We're gonna keep going. Look how big this sucker is. I'm gonna push it all down. Really make sure to get that edge. Because the edge is what's going to define the image. Holy cow, this is massive. Okay, There we go. We got some good bubbles going on here now. Look at that. Okay. Let's see, is there going to be another one that I can get? I think I can get right here. Oh, look at how cool that looks, right? So you can really see the embossing on here. And I'm going to try to keep this to the colored side. I could go back to gesso though. That would be pretty easy. Let's see what I've got here. This is kind of my mixed media and how I've got my mixed media. I could do clear embossing powder. But that's not really shiny. That's crackle paste. That's opaque matte. That's clear gesso. But gesso dries matte as well. I've got Stickles glitter gel. I could add that. Ultrafine clear embossing powder. What else do I have here? Not really much else I don't think is going to have gloss. So I think I'm going to use this clear gel, glitter gel. So let's test it. We're going to do it on a piece of paper. So I'm going to just real quick emboss a small little deal. Well, maybe the medium one. You can do this on any type of paper, guys. So like this is just plain old copy paper that I've got. It's a little bit more fragile than my 110-pound cardstock that I'm using for the rest for my layout. But let's see what we can get from this. So there's that. And if I add some glitter gel, we're just going to let this dry. And see what happens. Okay, I think I've got what I want for my embossing. So I was looking, and I've also got these clear Nuvo drops. However, they don't have as much like fun colors as the Moon Dust glitter gel does. So I'm going to go ahead and use this one. And then I might later on add this on top, because this does have a little bit of a shine to it where this just dries clear. So I'm literally taking my finger and I'm just going to add this to some of the big circles, and the small circles, and just kind of everywhere. It is going to be messy. I really only want it on the raised portion, but finding this kind of hard to do on the raised portion only. So that's okay. It still will make the bubbles stand out. I do want more glitter though. So let's move some of this stuff off this one and onto some of the others. I'm really excited about how this is hopefully going to turn out. I have not done this before. So if anybody else has, let me know. With specific to the trying to get the bubble to look more like bubbles. If there's a better option for what to use to make these look more like bubbles instead of just raised images on the paper, let me know. Put it down in the comments. For anybody else who's watching this video too, then they can get an idea from your idea of how to fix it. You could probably use like diamond glaze or whatever, you know, that kind of product. I don't remember. There's a whole bunch of them out there, I think, that will add a gloss finish to your project. However, I found that diamond glaze unfortunately yellowed things. So I got rid of it. And I don't know if that was just because of the properties of the diamond glaze, because I got it secondhand and it was old. But still, even if it's old, I want it to last a lifetime, right? I don't want it to go away anytime soon. So, okay, so I've matted my artwork, my layout. And I've also matted my photo. So I actually took the backing of my stencil and my stickers to add color to my background. So I know I'm going to end up placing these like right about there. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. When I did adhere the white cardstock onto the black, I used a lot of tape runner. So I did all my 4 sides and then I did crisscrosses. So here, 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 and here. Because this is warped from the mixed media, you do have to use extra. A lot of the times people tend to use liquid glue, which absolutely works. But what I think I'm going to do is go around with liquid glue after I'm done with everything and add that in. So my goal in adding the extra border was to make it stand out, but also to add the color back in to where my photo is. So that was my thought process behind it. And I did try to kind of go blue to yellow to pink. It didn't quite work, but it's close enough. So the only embellishments that I really have from the Sweet Rush collection are these. This is what I've got. So I'm going to use it. I'm thinking cool stuff is going to be my title. And this is actually like a cardstock sticker, which I appreciate. But I do want to pop it up on foam. So I'm going to use some foam squares that I've got. And we're just going to pop that baby up on the layout. Now, I don't know. I don't know what the best foam is. I'm thinking the next time I need to buy foam, which won't be for a long time, I'm going to get a big foam roll instead of squares. I just don't like having to remove each square of paper and then keeping track of it and then throwing it away and doing all the things. So I'm thinking next time I'm going to do like a roll. So cool stuff. I think that'll go there and it'll join my photos then if I put it like right there. And then I've got like a subtitle deal going on here that I can use, and I've got some borders that I can use. It might be fun to do something like this since we've got some blue going on there. Oh yeah, that'll look good. And then I'm going to trim that. About there. And if I want to add it down here, I can't. There's not enough room, and that's okay. My watercolors ended up matching this pretty perfectly without me really having to try, which is freaking awesome. Okay, so here's some icons, and then here's some icons. Since I've got a little bit of a weirdness going on here, I do want to cover it up. And I think I'm going to do that with something like this. Let's see. And we're just going to kind of play with these embellishments. I do want to get one of these on here. I think I'll probably do black. And I'll do that. Do I want to continue up the row? Do I want to do it right here? I think I want to do it up here. And this is going to be where my journaling is, so I'm going to wait to place that on there until I've actually done the journaling, because then I won't have to write on the bumpiness of the paper, and that'll look really good. Let's add some blue, or some fun colors here. Good vibes only. Let's see. We're just gonna kind of add. There's some green. That looks good. And some blue. And I can just add my cute little butterflies. I was going to put my deal here. So let's put this one like right there. And just kind of use this to help tell that this is moving along with it. And last one is pink. There. Perfect. That looks awesome. And do I want to add anything else here? I don't think I'm going to use any of these. This looks good. That looks awesome. And yeah, because I have spent so much time on the mixed media, I have added so much glitter, all those kinds of things. I'm not going to heavily embellish this one. I really want my pictures and my mixed media to stand out. And if I over embellish, then you'll lose some of that fun factor. I'll have close-ups at the end of this video, so you can definitely take a look at those. Don't forget to take a look at Paper Funday challenges. Their challenge this month is to do embossing, either heat embossing or some actual like embossing with an embossing folder. So I hope you found some great inspiration. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.